Good evening, I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're watching News X. Our big focus this hour. News X has arrived at the Keezhadi excavation site in the state of Tamil Nadu. The findings in Keezhadi served as a major turning point in the cultural historiography of the ancient Sangam age, after scripts found had similarities with those found in Mohejadaro and Harappa sites. Prime Minister Narendra Modi referred to these Keezhadi excavations and hailed the Tamil culture during his Chennai visit recently. M.K. Stalin, chief of the DMK too, has reacted to the story after NewsX broke it and has demanded a museum to be constructed at the site.
NewsX arrived in the town of Keezhadi, a town in Tamil Nadu which has now provided the crucial evidence of Indians and Tamilians being one ancient people. Two boats welcome you to the excavation site. The entrance is guarded by a makeshift gate. At first look, we could see barren land with square pits dug at every 5 minutes distance. Tourists and locals, now knowing the significance of this place, have started thronging to the site. We saw many people carefully gazing at the pits. The pits that have been dug have floor pavings, which indicate the walls of the ancient citadel that existed here. While some pits are small, others are spread across many meters and have stone walls surrounding the paving. Besides the stone structures are the brick walls with longish ancient bricks. The brick walls also form small cubicle-like structures. But at the heart of these findings has been the pottery hanging out of the walls. The script on these boards have found a linkage to 2500 BC.
We are in Keezhadi, a small town near Madurai. Now, this Keezhadi stands as a treasure trove for Tamil civilization. The fifth phase of excavation works that has been carried out here in Keezhadi has thrown new light into the civilization debate. The researchers and the excavation that done on this site have very clearly indicating that the settlements here, the civilization which thrived in this area, had rich literature and very advanced urbanization.
The findings have excited the locals, who now want to know more about their roots and the Tamil civilization.
There should be more research on this front as well, right? To see how much more the basic civilizations, not like the Vijayanagar Empire and those kind of things, but the starting civilizations, how they grew up here and how they developed their cultural entities over here. That's really interesting actually.
நான் மதுரை பிறந்து வளர்ந்த ஆள் தான். எனக்கே பெரிய என்ன சொல்கிறதுங்க, ஒரு பெரிய கிரேட்டஸ்ட் எக்ஸைட்மெண்ட் தான் இது வந்து. ஆக்சுவலாக வந்து இட் ஹேஸ் அ ரிமார்க்கபிள் ஸ்பேஸ். என்னென்னா வந்து நீங்கள் இனிமேல் சரித்திரத்தை வேறு மாதிரி தான் பேசுகிறோம்.
Massive efforts are on to protect this site. The site is open for tourists from 9 to 5 p.m. and police personnel now man the site. We spoke to the DSP of Manamadurai.
காலையில் 9 மணிலேருந்து ஓப்பன் பண்ணுறாங்க, 5 மணி வரைக்கும் இருக்குது. நாங்கள் ஒரு 20 போலீஸ் போட்டு பப்ளிக் வந்து ரெகுலேட் பண்ணி வண்டிகளை முறையாக பார்க் பண்ணி இந்த டிராஃபிக் இஷ்யூஸ் இல்லாமல் பார்த்துக்கிறோம்.
The latest round of excavation has found an irrigation system where water from the nearby Vaigai river channeled. Further excavation is being done to unearth more tanks and wells.
These pits, what you can see in the visuals, are tanks or wells which was excavated by the people who lived here in this area dating back to 6th BCE. So this very clearly gives an indication the kind of knowledge what the people of these civilization had. With video journalist Balu Mugilan for NewsX.
And joining us live on the broadcast is my colleague Mugilan Chandrakumar, who of course got us his ground report. Mugilan, what really did you find when you went to Keezhadi And what are now some of those findings, Mughalen, that will obviously have to be taken forward?
Definitely yes, because since morning we are here at the excavation site where the excavation is going on. Only a few feet from here we can reach the keezhadi excavation site. Since morning we could see, even though this is a very fag end of the fifth excavation process, the fifth excavation process will be ending by this week. So we are at the very fag end of the excavation process, but we have seen the kind of materials that has been retrieved during the fifth phase, because in the fifth phase alone the Tamil Nadu Archaeology Department have managed to unearth more than 50,000 artifacts. So this is what we're getting to hear from the archaeologists who are working here in the keezhadi excavation site. So during this fifth phase, they have unearthed more than 15,000 artifacts, and these artifacts, the most important artifacts, including the pottery and the carbon which was obtained from this keezhadi excavation site, was sent to various labs, not only in the country, even to a laboratory in USA to ascertain age of these potteries and the artifacts that have been unearthed in the keezhadi excavation site. To everyone's surprise, the dating of these artifacts have very clearly proved that a civilization which was rich in literature and a very modern building skills were tried here in the keezhadi excavation site even in the 6th BC, that is 6th before Christ era. So we can assess the rich literature and the advanced urbanization that has happened here on the banks of Vaigai river. So the archaeologists and activists demand that the excavation works in keezhadi should continue at least another year or two to unearth the findings that have been lying underneath in this area. And the 6th phase of excavation will begin in the January month of next year. So we can expect furthermore artifacts and other information that can be unearthed from this keezhadi excavation site.
Right, and what has of course been very significant, Mughalen, is that the excavations so far have obviously pointed out into a link between this excavation site and also that in Harappa and Mohejadaro.
Definitely yes. When we speak about rich literature, this is what strikes here, because in keezhadi there have been many potteries that has been unearthed in keezhadi, and most of these potteries have specific names or images drawn on the surface of the pottery, and most of the scripts, that is the scripts that were used on these potteries, have an exact resemblance of the script that has been used in the Indus Valley civilization. So when we spoke with the activists who are working specifically on keezhadi excavation sites, they say that this shows the kind of rich literature.
Absolutely. Mughalen, stay with us. We want to open this up, in fact, also now to a special panel who's joining us live on the broadcast. Vivek Reddy, spokesperson of the BJP, joins us live. We also have Professor Kapil Kumar, historian, in our studio live with us. Nam Thamizar Ayanatham, an activist, also is joining us live on the program, and Sri Iyer, author, also joins us this evening. Let me begin with you first, Vivek Reddy. You know, this is coming just days after the Prime Minister's visit to Tamil Nadu, where he had, of course, hailed the Tamil culture and also spoken about, you know, the Tamil language being one of the oldest of its kind. These sort of excavations, how significant are they? And obviously, they also convey that there is a link between North and South. There is a link between, you know, the civilization that was in Harappa and Mohejadaro and the civilization now that is being unearthed in keezhadi.
Well, I think you make a very important point there. What is significant is that we find that a civilization existed in southern India, which is such a huge revelation or a discovery, because people thought, or the historians believe, that the whole concept of civilization arose from Indus and around Indus. But I think at that stage we had several civilizations, at least in South India, a very rich heritage that had been built by our ancestors. And this is a testimony of the fact that such a great civilization existed. Now this opens up two issues. Perhaps historians would take it up and archaeologists would take it up. One is whether this was independent of Mohejadaro and Harappa, and that would show that South India had an independent, developed civilization to an independent, to its own independent existence. This is number one. The second issue is whether it was connected. Now these two issues have been opened up for debate, and I think when you go by the rich influences and traditional culture of South India that is prevalent in Tamil Nadu, in Karnataka and in various other states, Andhra Pradesh and Kerala, I think we would definitely, scientific findings would ultimately come to the conclusion that yes, South India had a distinct culture of its own, had a distinct civilization
Kumar,
of its own,
these are
which was
initial
ultimately
findings,
part of the Indian culture,
which are
but it was
significant,
quite
as
distinct.
Vivek Reddy has pointed out. How do we take it forward? He is saying that obviously historians and researchers will now have to take it forward. Yeah. How will that happen?
Vivek, firstly, I am very happy that activists today are taking up this whole cause of finding the ancient past, finding the heritage and all, which needs a heritage movement in this country. Secondly, I'd like to say, I am not a person who starts with hypothesis. I put my history on basis of evidences, documents and sources which are examined and which are very scientifically examined. Now, if I will not start with this assumption, I'll put it at this way. This is entire, whether it is Rakhigadi, whether it is Indus, whether it is Harappan, whether it is Kajoli, whether it is this Kanadi, all these aspects are various streams of the ancient Indian culture that persisted over all of India, and they definitely had linkages. I'll give you one thing here. Suppose tomorrow someone excavates after 5,000 years Delhi, Bombay or Chennai, a debate will start whether they had links or not, whether they had known each other or not, whether they were part of a culture or not. And let us remember one more thing here, very, very important. That is that Tamil Sangam literature is a very rich ancient literature. So is Sanskrit. Both are contemporaries and equal.
Okay.
No, 1 second. And when we talk of these literatures, we forget one aspect. Talk to a linguist that how much time span it would have been taken for these languages, Tamil and Sanskrit, to reach that specialized level of language which they reached. And all these other Harappan script and other which we are talking of, I to look at them as a contributory aspect to the development of languages in India, to the development of scripts in India.
Vivek Reddy is saying that this is evidence of a southern civilization. Artifacts have also suggested, and other evidences have also suggested that people in the Indus Valley spoke a Dravidian language. Do you believe, Mr. Ayanatham, now it must be probed further as to whether the origin of India was there in Tamil Nadu, whether this was where the Indian race originated? Do you believe more research must be done to find this out, particularly given the fact that even the PM spoke about, how old the Tamil language is recently?
Yes, in a way, we can say the archaeological findings that we had on hand today in keezhadi, that is pointing to the existence of humanity in a well-developed urban civilization there some 2,600 years ago. That is the first thing we must note upon. Whether it can be stated as Indian or anything else, whatever findings that we have got today has proved that it belongs to the Sangam era of Tamil's lineage. Rather to say the last Sangam time. Previously, in our literature, we have 3 Sangam periods. That is the first Sangam period that had its capital in Tenmadurai, that has gone into the sea. Then comes the second Sangam civilization, that is with the capital of Tenmadurai, Kabadapuram, that is also gone into the sea. The Madurai that we speak today is of the Kadai Sangam period, that is the last Sangam period. This is here that keezhadi we have found. Keezhadi is one site There are so many, 293 sites along the river Vaigai.
Keezhadi is just one
And
site.
this
There
is
are
only
many
the
more
beginning.
sites, says Mr.
If we
Ahinatham.
go
Shri Iyer,
deeper,
must this be
and
probed
we
further?
go
Your
further.
takeaways, Shri Iyer.
You know, the Tamil kings have been part and parcel of the, Sanatani culture for donkeys' years. There is evidence of the king of Pandya being there at the Swayamvar of Rama's grandmother, Indumati. And at that time, it is believed that he possessed an astra which was even more stronger than the Brahmastra, called Brahmashiro Astra. And Ravana had entered a truce with him because he figured that he could not defeat the king of Pandya. Also, Sugriva tells the Vanaras to go look towards Kavatapuram for signs of Sita.
Okay, so you're saying that there is evidence of this even in our literature. Fair enough. We're completely out of time, so I'm going to have to leave it at that. My thanks to all of our panelists for joining us on this particular debate. Let's take a very short break.